In this program, we'll toggle between two colors on the LED strip using a single button and a variable to keep track of which color is showing. Anytime we use the LED strip, we want to include the ledstrip.h library above the void setup. To do that, we type #include and between quotation marks the name of the library. Including the library gives us access to special functions like .draw, .setPixel, and .clear that are special just for the LED strip. Next, we finish setting up the LED strip by giving it a name. I name mine strip because that's easy for me to type and remember. And we complete this LED strip function. It has three arguments. The first is how many pixels are on our LED strip. The second is which pin of MakerBoard is plugged into the green wire of the LED strip. And the third is which pin of MakerBoard is plugged into the blue wire of the LED strip. Next, we want to create a variable. This is an integer type variable typed int. It has a name of press count and a starting value of 0. You can name your variable almost anything you want, but it's better if it's clear, easy for you to type, and easy to remember. This variable is going to keep track of how many times the button has been pressed, so I think press count is the best name for it. Within the void setup function, use the pin mode function with the arguments 6 and input pull-up to set up a button to send signal into your code. This will be plugged into port 6 on your MakerBoard. Within the void loop, the first thing we see is an if statement. The if statement has two key parts. Between the parentheses of the if statement is a condition that is checked, and between the curly braces of the if statement is code that runs when the condition is true. This condition is checking the reading from port 6. Because it's an input pull-up with a button, when the button is pressed, it will send a low reading. So if this is true, then the code between the curly braces runs, and press count is increased by 1 with this plus plus shorthand. So if press count started at 0, when the line press count plus plus runs, press count is now equal to 1. The delay of 250 milliseconds pauses the code here for 1/4 of a second, which gives you time to release the button so that it doesn't accidentally count multiple press counts while you're pressing it down. The next section of the code is another if statement, and this is checking the value of the press count variable. So again, we have a condition between the parentheses and actions between the curly braces. If press count is equal to 1, then strip.setPixel will set the entire strip to 100 because setPixel has two arguments. First, which pixel or pixels we want to light up on the LED strip, and we're using strip.all to tell the strip we want to light all of the pixels. And the second argument is the color value we want to show on those pixels, and this can range from 0 to 299. So we'll set the entire strip to a color value of 100 and then use the draw function to send that data to the strip and display it. If press count is not equal to 1, then the actions of the if statement are skipped and the actions of the else statement will run. Here, that's another setPixel function with the argument strip.all telling the code to light up all the pixels on the LED strip and a color value of 200. So, if the press count is not equal to 1, we're going to set the entire strip to green, use the .draw function to display that on the strip, and set the press count equal to 0 again. When the program reaches the end of the void loop, it jumps back up and checks the digital read of port 6 again. The way this loop is going to work is press count starts at 0 and with a button press becomes 1, so it sets the entire strip to 100 and draws it. And then the second press of the button will make press count equal to 2, which means this second if statement condition is false, so the else statement will run, setting the entire strip to a value of 200 and resetting the press count variable to 0. So the third press on the button will take press count from 0 to 1 again. The condition of the second if will be true, and we'll set the strip back to a color value of 100. So pressing this button over and over is going to toggle the entire LED strip between the two color values that are in this if-else chain at the bottom of the void loop.